Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under. Let's go and start out with the big elephant in the room, what everybody's been talking about. Is it going to be a reboot of the whole engine? Is it going to be an update? What's happening?
It's an update of the Jupyter engine, but we made a lot of improvements over the existing engine, which is based on the fixed function pipeline. I think the biggest update is how the engine handles the interplay of light and materials. By simulating more accurately how light interacts with the environment in terms of reflection, diffusion, energy conservation, the engine can basically render more accurate, realistic, and visually consistent scenes in various lighting conditions. So yeah, in short, it is an update, not a major overhaul.
Is this graphics update in any way, shape or form going to go and change the gameplay, the core gameplay that players have really loved for so many years?
One of the things that we really focused on for this engine update is just really trying to preserve the original gameplay and a lot of the original game mechanics. So what we've changed is basically just in like the presentation layer, just basically a visual update. The core mechanics, the things like the bullet physics and recoil and everything that is pretty much intact. And we also, this also put a lot of constraints on us as well to kind of maintain kind of our engine at the same time, just updating visually. But the benefit of that is that, you'll be able to play both versions, the old and new, simultaneously. Okay. So you can play them together. Players will be able to play on the same servers together. And there's not going to be any kind of real gameplay discrepancies between the two.
So on the screen, we're showing Junkfully, as I said before. Now, there is a lot of maps in Combat Arms. I don't know the number, but it's a large number, and it will be a very, very long process to go and update all of these maps. So my question is there a certain priority on maps to be updated, and are all of the maps going to be updated eventually? Is it going to happen? Because as I said before, there is a lot of maps.
All the maps will be updated eventually, but of course, I believe that the most popular maps will be updated first, and Junkfleet and Old Rig will be the first maps to be updated.
Combat Arms is known as a low-resource game, as in you don't need a very, very good computer to go and run it. However, members of the community have been, a bit up in arms about the game not being optimized for the computers. Now, with this new graphics update, that can go and lead to new issues, but that could also lead to really big improvements. Could you go and tell me how this new update will go and run for the majority of users? Will it be better overall? So when people hop into game, they'll get good frame rates. Could you please explain for me?
So regarding the performance, with a lot of these updates, of course, there's going to be some system requirements increases as well in order to handle the increased graphics fidelity. I believe before the old, in the old graphics engine, it was set up using, very, very kind of ancient, like 2004, 2005 era kind of graphics. It was made for that era of graphics hardware, and things are vastly different now. I believe a lot of the current performance issues are kind of inherent from the fact that it was designed for very, very old hardware. And new hardware doesn't really, kind of scale well with these techniques. For example, it's still using DirectX 9, and DirectX 9 is known to be very bound by your processor. So it doesn't really, you don't really get a whole lot of bang for your buck out of your graphics card on the old engine. But with the new one, we've basically switched everything to use a much more programmable shader pipeline, which will basically be able to, really squeeze a lot of performance out of your graphics card. Although that doesn't directly translate into kind of the underlying CPU bottlenecks that exist in the game. But we hope that we will eventually do some more, improvements and benchmarking, and hopefully with the beta we can get some, a good range of performance data from different users with different specs, and we'll, use that information to kind of, better improve and iterate on the performance. But yeah, we can expect initially that there will be, in order to run the newer version with the updated graphics, there will be, some higher performance costs. But at the same time, we also be supporting running kind of in the old mode as well. So for people who still have, old hardware and they still want to run the game with the same, there shouldn't be any performance impact for people kind of just who aren't using the improved graphics settings.
So focusing particularly on the shadows of the game, what's the really big comparison to the shadows that we have now and the shadows that we're going to go and expect in this new update?
I think shadows definitely have a large impact on the quality of a rendered scene. And in the old engine, basically, a lot of lighting calculations and shadows needed to be pre-baked during asset creation time. With the new engine, we're actually calculating a lot of the shadows dynamically using a slew of modern techniques. You will be able to see shadows for a lot of dynamic objects where you didn't before, and the quality is going to be much higher than before, as well as things are per pixel instead of per vertex.
With how detailed these shadows are, it may be a bit of a competitive advantage for you to go and run them in-game. So my question is, how easy to run will these shadows be in-game so everybody can have a really good opportunity to one-up people, especially around corners?
So there's several options for shadow quality that we'll have introduced. With the lowest shadow quality should be able to be run on fairly older hardware, but where we've also done some tweaks as well, although to reduce kind of the competitive advantage. For example, if a character model is off the screen, they won't cast a shadow. Okay. So you won't be able to see players coming from off screen. Okay. So there are some corner cases where you might actually see a player around a corner that's occluded by an object. But we're kind of trying to minimize these kind of scenarios, so there shouldn't be a big kind of competitive advantage you get from having these shadows in game.
So I think a lot of competitive FPS games have to deal with this because people have different settings that everyone can set differently, and I think there's definitely some pros and cons to turning on and off certain render quality settings, and this is no exception. I think Combat Arms will have to really listen to our users on what they're saying during the beta process. So we'll take that into account, and if we need to make any changes to the levels themselves or the graphics engine, we'll do that.
All right, so one thing that I know a lot of Combat Arms players will be asking is how can they get involved? Because you said there was going to be a beta process, and I know a lot of players will be like, how can I go and sign up? How can I go and get involved? So could you go and really explain to the players, the Combat Arms community, how they can really go and get involved with this really big graphics update?
Not going to keep you in the dark for long. So please, check our website, social media, and other methods that we have for informing you guys regarding various updates.
So one of those other methods that Jake went and mentioned is obviously my channel, youtube.com/undercoverdudes. It's in the description. Go and click it. I will definitely be doing key giveaways to go and get right into this beta so you guys can go and try it out and give feedback to the developers right when you're playing the game.